Little Nightmares 3 is an upcoming puzzle platform horror adventure game developed by Supermassive Games and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment, marking the third main installment in the critically acclaimed Little Nightmares series. Scheduled for release in 2025, the game will be available on multiple platforms, including PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X/S, Nintendo Switch, and Windows PC. This entry represents a notable shift in development, as it is the first in the franchise not helmed by Tarsier Studios. Instead, development duties have been passed to Supermassive Games, renowned for their narrative-heavy horror experiences such as Until Dawn and The Dark Pictures Anthology, bringing a new flavor of cinematic tension and emotional depth to the franchise. The narrative centers around two new child protagonists, Lo and Alone, who find themselves trapped within the haunting dimension of the nowhere, a surreal and hostile world full of distorted physics and towering, monstrous inhabitants. Unlike previous entries that focused on solitary journeys, Little Nightmares 3 introduces online cooperative gameplay for the first time in the series. Players can traverse the world together online or play solo with an AI-controlled companion. This new mechanic opens the door for more complex environmental puzzles and character-specific interactions, requiring strategic use of each protagonist's unique tools. Lo wields a bow and arrow, useful for ranged interactions and distractions, while Alone utilizes a wrench, allowing for physical manipulation of objects and machinery. These distinct abilities create fresh layers of cooperative problem-solving, tension, and exploration, set in a meticulously crafted 2.5D world. The game unfolds across a series of unsettling biomes within the Spiral, a mysterious network of realms that each reflect twisted aspects of reality. Confirmed environments include the bone-dry desert necropolis, filled with insectoid enemies and ancient ruins, claustrophobic factory crawling with surveillance threats, and a grotesque funfair warped by malfunctioning attractions and shadowy figures. The game continues the franchise's hallmark of using visual storytelling, environmental cues, and minimal dialogue to build an immersive psychological horror experience. Players must rely on stealth, timing, and intuition to evade or outwit bizarre and terrifying adversaries, including ominous beetles, sentient machines, and the monster Baby, a grotesquely oversized infant whose unpredictable behavior adds high-stakes tension. Supermassive Games has also brought a cinematic flair to the experience, using dynamic camera angles, eerie lighting, and detailed animations to heighten the sense of dread and vulnerability. While maintaining the series' minimalist design philosophy, Little Nightmares 3 deepens the emotional resonance between its characters, portraying their bond as both a source of strength and sorrow in the face of overwhelming horror. The eerie, melancholic soundtrack and subtle sound design play a crucial role in setting the game's tone, with ambient cues hinting at nearby dangers or triggering emotional beats within the story. Originally announced for a 2024 release, the game was delayed to 2025 in order to refine the new gameplay systems and ensure a polished atmospheric experience that lives up to fan expectations. As part of the broader narrative expansion, Bandai Namco has launched a tie-in podcast series, The Sounds of Nightmares, which delves into the backstory of the world and its tortured inhabitants. The podcast explores themes of trauma, memory, and fear, and has been praised for offering a deeper psychological perspective on the Little Nightmares universe. Little Nightmares 3 aims to honor the legacy of the series while expanding its creative boundaries. through cooperative mechanics, layered storytelling, and a richer, more diverse world. With its combination of unsettling imagery, emotionally driven design, and suspenseful gameplay, the game promises to be one of the most atmospheric and memorable horror experiences of 2025, appealing to both longtime fans and newcomers alike. Now you can enjoy the screenshots without any interruption. Enjoy!